All right, beautiful people. This is your girl Brunella. I'm back in the building with another video. I hope all is well. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. We already talk about celebrity topics, but what I want to do is something called "Let's Talk About It." And what this is basically we're gonna talk about trending topics. Of course, we may pull maybe three cards on it, maybe four or five, just to get a feel around it. And then from there, we'll continue the discussion. This will get me to get content out much sooner. Reason being, I don't always feel everything requires a big reading. I don't feel like everything requires me to just set up to just do that. So, and I do have an opinion about stuff. People always ask me all the time, like, what do you think about this? They send me stuff in my DMs on my Instagram. So I decided to say, okay, listen, the best way for me to do this without feeling overwhelmed, because I do still have my clients on the back end of this business, the best way to do this is just to kind of like go into it where we talk about various topics and we can look at the article, we can discuss it, and then maybe pull two or three cards and just keep going. It will not be a full situation, but it'll be enough to satisfy, right? But I want you guys to make sure you hit the like button, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, and support these types of content so that I can get on it a lot more. Now, we're going to still be doing our regular thing where if it requires a full situation, a full reading, we're absolutely going to do that. I'm just talking. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for checking in. I appreciate you. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to comment and don't forget to subscribe. Now, with this particular situation, you may find let's talk about it. You may find me do a one person, maybe two. You may see me doing more than two people, right? It just depends. So we're going to do Tory Lanez today. Tory Lanez has filed a few motions recently to have his case looked at again, right? There was some information that came out the other day through his, I guess his, the people who represent him, which is Unite the People, where they said his innocence claim has been accepted, and the internet went wild, right? Oh my God, he's been approved. Oh my God, he will be out soon. Oh my God, this is great news. But it's a claim. It was considered a claim. You know, a claim. What a claim is. It's like, just think about when you have your insurance and you get into some type of accident, or you maybe you have a home and you have to make a claim on your home. At this point, you're filing a claim. It has not yet been approved, nor has it been denied, right? It's simply something that you're submitting. It's like a motion, right? So this is what kind of set the internet off. So from there, it just went into multiple blogs making multiple videos. It was all over Twitter. And I was like, wait, what's going on? Why is he still like, is it like, what's going on? He's still in jail. Like, what's happening? So that was the first part of it. So again, he's with Unite the People, and they were the ones. I went on their Instagram. They were the ones who released it released it as his innocence claim has been accepted, and then of course people took that and just kind of. I think the way they also explain stuff could be confusing, and then people do take things and misinterpret it and misconstrue it, and they don't correct it. So I think they should have came back and said, "Listen, guys, we've submitted a claim. It still needs to go through a process. He has not been approved, nor has he been denied for anything yet. He has not been cleared of anything yet." I think they didn't make that clear, and they just let it just go rampant, right? I think they need to do a more responsible job if they're going to represent anyone, whether it's Tory Lanez or someone else, because people are going to be watching Unite the People. Tory Lanez is one case, and he is a big fish, but you got to remember, people are watching you Unite the People. You have to be responsible with your reporting. You have to be responsible with the way you communicate the message, because I know as people we can misinterpret things, and then we can try to put conspiracy behind it. But it's the way that you report it. You have to report it responsibly, by giving a little bit more context to say, okay, this is what we're submitting, why we're submitting it, and this is what this means for Tory Lanez, and how and even maybe we're looking at possibly just give more context around what you're doing, so that people won't take what you saw, what they read, and just start running with it. And this has just been accepted. It's not been approved. It has not been seen by anyone yet, right? And it's just become a huge miscommunication on the internet, right? Now, if let me say this, if there was some wrongdoing, he has a right to file his claims. He has a right to file his motions. He has a right to file his grievances. He has a right to do that. people do it every day. The only reason why we're hearing about it is obviously because it's Tory Lanez, and now this Unite the People, they have decided to filter out information. On the other side of that, there's this whole thing going on with the lawyer he had named Sean Holly, right? And this lawyer, he's saying this lawyer did not do all that she could and should have done for him, and that because he didn't take the plea deal, she just kind of threw her hands up and gave up, right? She waited until they got deep into the situation to just, to not show support. We're going to look into this to see if this is actually true. This is what I'm going to be pulling cards on today. So, of course, Megan Cuniff, who is a reporter, she covers all the cases. I see her covering YSL, and now she's going to be covering Lil Durk, and she, of course, has been covering Tory Lanez. I think this is the first person she started off with. She wrote, she got on her Twitter once the whole situation broke out about he's been approved, to say, wait a minute, that is far from the truth, right? A lot of people don't like her because she's reporting out. But just think about this for a second. If you run a channel, or you run a page, or you run any type of social media site, would you want people to tell you not to run your content because they don't want you talking about it? Like, we have to just we have to allow everybody to have their voice in this space, right? Whether it's Instagram or Twitter or YouTube, right? That's like me telling another content creator, hey, get off of that topic. Why you keep talking about it? Why you got a hard on for this person? Like, you have a right to run your channel the way you want to run your channel. You have a right to report on what you want to report on. We need to get away from it because somebody's black or somebody's white, that they don't have the right to report on something. And the one thing I do notice, though, the same people that will complain about Megan Cuniff, you're using bits and pieces of her information in order to build your information. So you can't sit here and drag the lady, but then use bits and pieces of her information, or not that it's her information, but the things that she's gathered, right? She took the time to put a document together. She took the time to pull something. She took the time to pay for something, but you're going to, even though it's the court document, you're going to use it. Then do your own thing, do your own work around it. And then that way you don't have to deal with her at all. But then you use her stuff, the stuff that she's put out, and then still complain about it. But she has a right to speak on that, just like we have a right. I have a right to speak on it too. Everybody on, is information that people can share. So anyway, she took to her social media site. This is furthest from the truth. So now I'm on Jasmine Brand today, right? An update has been given. And it says Tory Lanez's recent petition is not an innocence claim, as reported by multiple outlets. It says despite multiple outlets reporting that the DA had accepted an innocence claim in Tory Lanez's case, that is not factual. Court reporter Megan Cuniff confirmed that the new document alleged that Tory's team can't conduct DNA testing on the gun he reportedly shot Meg Thee Stallion with, and cannot locate the bullet fragments. However, Megan's lawyer, Alex Spiro, claims the gun is available for testing. So I know we've been having all of this stuff about the gun was missing. How is the gun missing when they actually were able to say that the gun had a mixture of fingerprints on it? Remember? How is the gun missing? Were they able to say that, just that statement alone, we tested the gun and there was a mixture of fingerprints, and his fingerprints came back inconclusive. So how was it missing if you were able to do that? Like, let's start there and let's make that make sense. If they were able to say that the gun had a mixture of fingerprints on it, and that when we tested the gun for his fingerprints, it was inconclusive. It can't be missing if they were able to test to see that there was a mixture and that his fingerprints came up inconclusive. Now, let's start there. So they're saying that this gun it's available for testing, right? Let me read this again. Alex Spiro claims the gun is available for testing. So they look like they can go in and test the gun. And while they're testing the gun, they need to test on Kelsey, and they need to test on that doggone driver. Everybody needs to be tested. Tory's driver's statement about not seeing who shot Meg was also not new information. And Tory's attorneys were aware of his statement and chose not to have him testify. Remember during the trial, we kept saying, where's Quan? Where's Quan? What's going on with Quan? Quan came at the last second when, the sentence was about to happen. Tory is suing his previous lawyer, claiming she was working with Rock Nation to interfere with his case. Now, that particular piece of information, we're going to pull cards on to see, because I have tons of readings and I have a playlist for Tory Lanez. We already did a reading on whether or not he will win his appeal. We've already done a reading on that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna see, like, first of all, is the gun really missing? That's I want to really ask that question. And second of all, did this lawyer Sean Holly not do what she was supposed to do for him? Did she really leave him hanging? Did she really, because he didn't take a plea deal, did she really just give up on him? Is she really affiliated with the Rock Nation? Does she have some bias in some way? That's what we're going to do today. All right. So let's read the rest of this though, because there's a good bit of information. I got Tory Lanez's petition, and it's not an actual innocence claim. It says that he can't do DNA tests on the gun he shot Meg Thee Stallion with, and it complains his lawyers can't get the gun and bullet fragments even though they've known that for 2+ years. They said incredible, but also after 2 years, unanimous 12 jury, I guess people on the jury convicted Lanez of the shooting of Megan, people who had totally wrong takes on his trial and now spreading misinformation. So basically they're saying that everybody's spreading misinformation about the appeal. Lanez seems to want people to think that the DNA results for the gun, which were inconclusive, were central to his conviction, even though they weren't, and the prosecutors told the jury in the closing arguments that they weren't. Lanez's lawyers may have wanted to file an actual innocence claim to try to circumvent his previous lawyer's knowledge of the driver's statement, but they realized they don't have enough evidence, so they filed a new petition about the gun and the bullet fragments that they've known about the entire time. California law offers Lanez a way around the state's arguments that the driver's statements isn't new, and it allows for evidence to be available during the trial but not used to be considered. Let me read that again. California law offers Lanez a way around the state's argument that the driver's statement isn't new. It allows for evidence available during trial, but not used to be considered if the defendant argues actual innocence, and evidence is more likely than not would have led to an acquittal. Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer, Alex Sparrow, says the gun Tory Lanez used to shoot her in 2020 is with the Los Angeles Police Department and is available for DNA testing, despite his lawyers claiming otherwise. In this new appellate briefing. Wow. Let's start with that. Give me the energy around that actual gun. Is the gun available for testing? Do they actually have the gun? The Los Angeles Police Department. Because Sparrow could be saying anything. She's just reporting what he said. Give me the energy. Is the gun missing or not? You have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. You have the Fool card in reverse. You have the Queen of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles. They have literally been saying this gun is missing. When you see the Ace of Pentacles and the Fool card, that's like saying this shows up as something was lost. And then this shows up as some type of something being treated carelessly, right? But when you look at the next set of cards, it shows in your Queen of Wands and then in your Seven of Pentacles, this talks about a path. So it shows that it's right where it's supposed to be. The Seven of Pentacles represents basically, again, they can find it. This is a knowledge aspect. Like if you look for it, you can find it. And even in the Queen of Wands, that Queen of Wands represents they can read, they can do testing. This is a determination aspect. This is like somebody can go in. This is like somebody else can. So this shows in the messages, even though they've been saying this. And the Fool card could be a message around being reckless with something. But this is actually showing in the messages. It's literally in your Seven of Pentacles. If you just walk right over here and you'll find it. So it is showing up as that. Now, this Three of Pentacles in reverse, there's going to be, to me, I feel like there's still going to be conflict behind it about commencing forward. So I would be interested to see if Tory's legal team, unite the people wherever he's got, if they take the initiative to retest that gun. And because this represents, it does show commencement forward, but it shows a lot of disorganized energy. So I would say unite the people. They say they have the gun. It looks like they do have it here. Go test the gun. And while you're testing the gun, test Kelsey and test that driver. And test everybody again. Give me the energy around Sean Holly. Tory Lanez is filing a grievance against her because he felt she wasn't doing all that she was supposed to do for him in his case. Is that true? Was Sean Holly supportive of Tory Lanez? Did she bail out because he wouldn't file an appeal? He wouldn't do not an appeal. He wouldn't do what do you call that? He wouldn't take a plea deal. Did she bail out on him? And let's start with that. The World card, the Five of Swords, and I do show there's some negligence on her part, because when you see this World card in reverse, that's like saying you didn't complete the job. And even in that Five of Swords and then that Tower card, that represents in the messages that could talk about the person who's supposed to defend you avoided defending you. Now, I did hear something about she kind of backed up a little bit because she was being accused of encouraging Tory Lanez to tell what's this young lady's name? God. The girl who was also being accused, she was accused of guiding that girl to they're claiming that Sean Holly was the one who told Tory Lanez try to offer her something, almost like she was setting it up for Kelsey to get a bribe. This is why I heard she kind of backed out, because she felt it was getting a little bit okay, you're trying to pull me into something. But it does show the World card could represent something that was not fulfilled, something that was incomplete or a lack of closure or stagnated. But this also could represent a person felt like, okay, I can't effectively do my job, because then, say for example, she would have went and done that trial, and then they would have said, okay, voila. There's a statement saying she was trying to coerce Kelsey. That could derail the whole thing. That Five of Swords is her supposedly defending him, and then that Tower card represents the fact that she avoided it. So it does show an avoidance. It does show some avoidance, but it shows in the messages. Will she be forced to give him? I think they say he paid $300,000, and the Six of Pentacles came out. I don't know if she's gonna be forced to give him any money back. That Six of Pentacles in reverse. The Six of Pentacles could also be for example, we came to some decision around how this would look for us. We decided collectively not to move forward. I had some concerns, and we decided at the time, because this Six of Pentacles is saying we've decided as a group, because it's three people, right? 1, 2, 3 people. Her, Tory, and the man that was involved, Magnuson. That could be we decided that, moving forward as a group, we'll just move forward with just the two people we have. So it almost makes you feel some kind of way, it makes you feel like they made a collective decision to move that way. So I would be interested to see her having to reimburse him, because it almost makes you feel we agreed that this was the situation. We agreed that we were going to move this way because of this. Because I do distinctively recall that they were trying to call her into question about instructing him to give Kelsey a bribe. And that's when she backed up. I remember this, right? And then when you look at the messages here, it does show. Now, it doesn't show she just was completely off of him. It does show she still was giving. This Five of Swords could represent some defense, some information. She still was kind of helping out to some degree. But it does show she wasn't fully there. But it also shows that he may not get his money back for this. He may not get his money back for this. Now, The next part of that, I'm not dealing a million cards today. Will, is she associated with Rock Nation? I know she's co-producing some type of show that is attached to like one of Jay-Z albums names. Does she have is her hands clean? Like, does she, like, she keeps saying she's not associated with Rock Nation, but is she associated with them in some way? She has the Hangman, the Empress. Let me say this. I do feel that there's some truth to that, and that Hangman aspect is in her past position. Your Hangman is all about a person who could be trying to, stall. They could sacrifice you. They have a motive. They could sabotage you. They can create treason behind you. But it's going to be hard to really prove, like, she and Rock Nation brought Tory Lanez down, because at the end of the day, she literally backed out of the case because of that whole thing with Kelsey and the bride, right? It's going to be hard to prove it. Empress, musician here in the messages, it's going to be on him to prove, and it's going to be hard to prove that. Again, I don't see him paying her paying him $200,000. But I would say, and this is for entertainment purposes only, there may be some truth to, like, the fact that in some way, somehow, she's connected in some way and somehow. But it's going to be really hard to prove that, just because I know somebody through something, and you're going to have to say, I really work with this person, and I call this person, and get a paper trail, and get some phone numbers, and get, like, really nail me down, right? People, but she got that thing, Jay-Z got an album called Reasonable Doubt, and she's co-producing a show called Reasonable Doubt, and I guess the show is connected to some of his music. It is pretty, some people can call it ironic. Some people could give a side eye to that, because it does look like that's kind of like, as a lawyer, I wouldn't get involved with that if I knew I was representing a client who was fighting against people. But remember this too. Rock Nation was never on trial. It was never brought up by Tory's lawyer. It was never brought up by Megan's lawyer. Rock Nation was never on trial. So I would be interested to see how that plays out. It could fall flat for Tory Lanez, because it's not like Rock Nation was brought in the trial, brought up in the trial. We discussed it on social media. But if you read the court documents until now, right, this new submission he just did, they were never called to the stand. They were never questioned. Rock Nation, Desiree Perez, none of these people. So I would be interested to see how it plays out for him, because, this does ring to me like somebody could have been in some way associated, affiliated, but because these people were never put on trial, and then at the end of the day, she dropped from the case. You went forward with a lawyer who was not associated with him. So it's gonna be interesting. Okay, so this is the end of the road for me. Let me say this too, just for the record. Tory Lanez has a right to file whatever he wants to file. He has a right to fight for his life, his right, whether we agree or disagree, whether we think he's innocent or guilty, or we just don't know, and we just don't care. Some people, right? Again, we're hearing about it because he is Tory Lanez, and now he's with Unite the People, and Unite the People, he's with Unite the People, and Unite the People, they're putting information out as well. So, but they got a lot of people every day that are in his situation that are filing motions and complaints and appeals every day. We're just hearing about it because it's Tory Lanez. Do what you will with this information. You can agree to disagree. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. And last but not least, do not forget that I am running a special. I have 2 holiday specials on the website for you guys. Very affordable. One is actually $45. I'm excited about that for you guys because I don't bring them down that low. But there are 2 specials on the website. You get one for 3 questions and another one for 5 questions. Take a look at it. I look forward to reading for you. Again, we're going to be doing like some, going over the article, touching it. I didn't deal tons and tons of cards. I did 3-4 cards for each one. But the main thing is I have a playlist for Tory, and every step of the way, like what's happened in the case, not my opinion, but what's happened in the case. And it's mirrored pretty much perfectly. And I will add the link to the playlist in the chat, and I'll make sure all of the videos that I've done thus far. I did a video recently of whether or not he was going to win his appeal. I'll add that too. This video today was strictly about like the innocent claim, and I do feel unite the people, and I don't have no dog in no fight with none of these people, but you have to do a better job of how you're communicating, because yeah, you're dealing with Tory Lanez case, and he's a high profile figure, but you got to remember people are watching and people are looking at you. You have to move with a sense of integrity. You cannot just put out statements and then just let people just, and then you see things going sideways and people are taking it missing. You got to come and clarify the message, right? You can't just let people just sit here and misconstrue and misinterpret stuff, because like when I read it, I'm like, what's going on? Like, and it was everywhere, right? It started picking up in all the blogs and things of that nature. So I also saw that they're saying that they're going to start holding the blogs accountable too. For, I don't know how successful they're going to be doing that, but I read a report, and I think I got it right here. I don't want to make this too long, but I even read something that they said they were going to start holding these blogs accountable for reporting out misinformation. I saw this. Let me see. I saw that on here too. Something about they were going to start holding these blogs accountable. I'm like, ooh. So, that they were out here spreading misinformation. I'm trying to see if I can find it. If I can't find, oh, here it is. Spiral said Monday that he plans to take action against bloggers who continue to spread false information. He questioned why nonprofit legal services groups such as Unite the People is working on Lane's case. I guess Unite the People, they said there are a lot of people who, so let me finish the statement. There are lots of people who are in jail who need help, who tell the truth, and who are innocent and deserve to be free, said Spiral, a partner at Quinn Emanuel Uhart and Sullivan LLP in New York. I'd rather they spend their time on that than nonsense like this. So basically, they're pretty much saying I guess this is Megan's attorney saying they're looking to take action against blogs who spread misinformation, but I don't know how much success you're going to be with that, sir. Okay, take care. Stay blessed. You'll be suing everybody, child. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. They got so many people. And even if, like, this is the problem. People will read something, just like you say, claim, and say it is, innocence, approved innocence claim, and take it and say, okay, he's approved, he's out, he's good, he's on his way home. A claim being submitted and approved doesn't mean his whole case is approved, right? But even when you correct people, they'll still take and twist things around. So it almost defeats the purpose, right? You got a lot of conspiracy theories out there too. It's hard to get around them. It's almost like saying you're fighting a losing battle. But good luck, take care, stay blessed, and encouraged and empowered. Like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget the 2 holiday specials are on the website. Peace and blessings. Blessing. BlueNolaTarot.com, BlueNolaTarot.com. Bye-bye.